12 months from now, this could be you. But first, the two numbers that got us here.
87%. Roughly 87% of Black professionals report experiencing race-based discrimination in the workplace regularly. That's not a career problem, though. That's a body problem. That number lands in cortisol, in sleep, in blood pressure, in years off your life.
69 years. That's how long the average Black man in America lives. 6 full years less than the average white man. 6 less than the average Latino man. That gap has stayed nearly constant for 4 decades.
Spread Keisha always got a number, don't she?
That's her job, to make sure we're accurate, and besides, Black men matter too, right fellas?
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Y'all do matter.
Both numbers point to the same math, but that American dream stopped mathing for us a long time ago.
Which is why quietly, without any press conferences and big fanfare, Black professionals are packing it up and moving abroad in numbers this country hasn't seen since the Harlem Renaissance sent Josephine Baker to Paris, child.
This video is a wake-up call, not the fear, but the choice.
By the end of this episode, you'll know why more of us are leaving right now, why this movement isn't new, why every objection you've been told about leaving isn't true, what the data actually says about the Black Americans who've made the move, and what to do next if you want to consider it for yourself.
You'll also learn the 5 reasons why now is the time to consider this type of move, more than ever. Stick with us. And hey, we chose Mexico, Puerto Vallarta to be exact, and we live here full time. And we'll show you our exact receipts. But this video is for you, whether your freedom zone is Mexico, Portugal, Ghana, Thailand, Panama, or somewhere we haven't even named yet.
So grab your tea or tequila. This one is for you. Now, before we go one step further, we need to set the record straight. Because if anybody in your life has told you this little Blaxit thing is just some little TikTok trend or a millennial phase or something your generation invented, let us introduce you to your ancestors.
In 1829, Mexico abolished slavery, 36 years before the United States did. And thousands of enslaved Black Americans risked everything to flee south, not north, through what historians now call the Underground Railroad south. Their descendants, Los Mascogos, still live in Coahuila, Mexico today. Black Americans have been finding freedom in Mexico for nearly 200 years.
That's right. In 1925, Josephine Baker moved to Paris, not to visit, but to live. And she became a French citizen. She said, I have 2 loves, my country and Paris. You can decide which country was actually hers.
W.E.B. Du Bois, one of the greatest thinkers this country has ever produced, died in Ghana in 1963. Maya Angelou lived in Ghana from 1962 to 1965. She wrote about it in All God's Children Need Traveling Shoes. James Baldwin lived in France from 1948 until he died in 1987. Nina Simone left the US in the 70s and lived in Liberia and then France.
And don't forget about your girl, Tina Turner. She became a Swiss citizen in 2013, lived abroad the last 30 years of her life. Angela Davis found refuge in Cuba. Frederick Douglass toured Ireland and Scotland when he needed to just breathe.
Every generation of Black Americans has produced people who understood that geography is a strategy, that the map is bigger than any one country, that you're allowed to choose the ground under your feet.
What's different now isn't that Black folks are leaving, it's that regular Black folks, not just world famous artists and thinkers, finally have tools to do it. Remote work, cheap flights, direct-to-consumer knowledge from YouTube, and community networks like Melanated in Mexico. Everything that used to be gatekept is now one search away.
The movement isn't new, but the access is.
But before we get to the why, we got to get you ready for what your people gonna say, because you already know your mama gonna have something to say about you moving abroad.
Moving abroad is not running away.
Running is what you do when somebody's chasing you. Choosing where you live is what free people do. It's a different verb entirely.
Moving abroad is not being a coward.
Child, look here. It's a whole thing, okay? Packing up your entire life, learning a new language, navigating another country's paperwork, rebuilding your community from scratch. That's one of the bravest things a person could ever do. Cowards stay comfortable. Cowards don't move.
Moving abroad is not abandoning your country.
You keep your citizenship. You still vote. You still file U.S. taxes. You still send money home. You still visit. You're still an American. You just added another home to your life.
Moving abroad is not disappointing your ancestors.
Friend, your ancestors marched, protested, and survived unspeakable things so that you could have the right to have choices. Choosing peace, choosing safety, choosing years added to your body, choosing a life where you can just breathe. That is honoring their sacrifice, not disappointing them.
Moving abroad is not abandoning your family.
A 2-hour flight from Houston to Puerto Vallarta is shorter than a drive from Atlanta to Nashville, okay? Your mama can visit. Your children and grandchildren can visit. You can fly back home. And in many cases, you'll see your family more often abroad than you did when you were hustling 60 hours a week at work and lived in the same city as them.
And this last one is the most important. Moving abroad is not utopia. It's not the answer to every problem. It is not going to fix your marriage. It is not going to make you love a job you already hate. It is not going to erase every hard thing about being a Black person in the world is.
Look, we are not going to sell you a fantasy today. We're not promising you paradise, and we are not shiesty online influencers or coaches trying to sell you a dream.
What we are saying is, if you value peace, if you value your dollars actually stretching, if you value new experiences and new cultures, and if you're tired of paying the tax on your peace just to exist in America, then moving abroad is at least something you owe yourself an honest look at. That's what this video is. But the reason that changed our bodies, that's coming up next. 5 reasons this specific moment in history is the right time to at least consider your options. We're going to lay them out and let you decide what to do with them. Stay for reason 5. It's the one we get the most DMs about. Reason 1, check this out. Researchers at the University of Michigan, led by Dr. Arlene Geronimous, gave a medical name to what chronic race-based stress does to Black bodies. They call it weathering. It ages you at the cellular level, not metaphorically, literally, in your DNA, in your blood pressure, in your cortisol.
Weathering is why our life expectancy runs 6 years short. It's why our maternal mortality rate sits at nearly 3 times the white rate. 44.8 versus 14.2 per 100,000 people, according to the CDC. That's not opinion. That is arithmetic.
Here's the hopeful part. Every Black expat we know reports something similar 6 to 12 months after moving. Their sleep gets deeper. Their shoulders sit lower. They stop bracing for the news.
Yeah.
Some even report significant weight loss without dieting.
Come on in now.
Wow. Some report their blood pressure medication getting reduced, but not by some magic pill or shot, but by the removal of a chronic environmental stressor.
Friend, your body has been fighting a war you never even signed up for. But if you change the battlefield, your body gets to lay down its arms. That's the body science. But next, we'll tell you why your career doesn't have to end if you decide to move abroad. Number 2, 20 years ago, moving abroad meant quitting your career. But in 2026, it's nothing. Remote work now separates your paycheck from your zip code.
You can earn US dollars from a laptop here in Puerto Vallarta, Ghana, Thailand, Portugal. That's not theory. That's how our household works. That's how thousands of other Black expats work.
And if you don't have remote income yet, that's okay. Building remote income is stage 1 of what we call the income to immigration pipeline. Check out the link in the description if that's where you are right now.
Region 3. Cost of living in the U.S. has been outrunning wages for over a decade, like Usain Bolt in the Olympics.
That's a good one.
Yeah, thank you. That gap is destroying Black wealth specifically because we had that much money to begin with in the first place.
Child, say that. Geographic arbitrage is what economists call it when you earn in a strong currency and spend in a weaker one. Check out our real receipts. $6,800 a month living in Houston, but $2,500 a month living in PV. Same lifestyle, but now we get to keep $4,300 a month every single month. That's $51,000 a year staying in our pockets because we changed where we spent it.
Screenshot this. That's the number. That's the math. Next, we're going to talk about the insurance policy nobody talks about right now. Keith Brown has publicly shared similar numbers. He was a former New York school teacher that was featured on CNBC Make It. He now lives in Mexico City on $2,000 a month. This is not a theory. This is what a growing number of Black professionals are actually experiencing.
Reason number 4. Now, we're keeping this politically neutral, but we don't need to convince you what to think about America right now. Child, you already know how you feel. But what we will say is this. Having a residency card in a second country is like having a fire extinguisher. You hope you never use it, but you feel a lot better having it, don't you? You can never have too much insurance, especially an insurance policy that gives you an option to live.
And fam, getting residency abroad doesn't require renouncing or denouncing U.S. citizenship. It's not a Greek letter organization. It doesn't require moving right away either. It doesn't lock you into anything. Instead, it gives you options. And optionality is the last generational wealth strategy still available to regular people who don't have hedge fund money.
Now, reason 5 is the one we get the most DMs about. Reason 5, roughly 2/3 of American bankruptcies involve medical debt. But in most of the countries Black Americans are moving to, medical bankruptcy is a foreign concept, pun intended.
You may remember our neighbor Wilbert that I interviewed a while back. 75 years old, Black American, lives right here in Puerto Vallarta. He had a stroke a few years ago, 19 days in ICU here in Mexico. His nurses actually became his friends. His total bill was a fraction of what the same medical bill would have cost him back in the US. And the level of care he received was exceptional. And more importantly than the money, he was treated like a person, not just another patient number, not just a billing code, not somebody they assume was just seeking medication for a fix.
That's the piece nobody adds up. The stress of the American healthcare system is not just a bill. It's the way it treats you before the bill even shows up, and the surprise bill that shows up later. That stress is a hidden cost you've been paying for years without realizing.
But we're not the only ones out here in these move abroad streets. Wait till you see who else is out here. Let us tell you about some real people, not influencer stories, not paid testimonials, real Black Americans thriving in Mexico right now. Because we didn't do this alone. We arrived to a community that had been building for years. You have Adalia, aka Peaky Girl Travels. She's a former teacher from Houston and now a money coach for Black women. She lives in Mexico City and documents the Black woman in Mexico life on YouTube.
Then you have Michelle Wedderburn, who established roots in Mexico over 6 years ago. She's the founder of Casa Elm, the Black-owned luxury, adults-only guest house in San Miguel de Allende, featured in Travel Noir, Yahoo Lifestyle, and International Living. If you're planning to move or bringing your parents, Michelle built the exact soft landing you need.
There are other global names worth following. Cara Celeste has been documenting Black expat life all the way over in Greece. Stephanie Perry runs House Sitter School all the way from Colombia.
And then there's us, Tristen and CC Sutton, full-time PV residents, documenting the real-time version of the move abroad. We're one of many, as you can see, not the only. That's the point, though. You're not alone in considering this. That's the people who made the move. Now, here's what the data says.
Beyond individual stories, here's what the research shows about Americans who make the move.
The Internation's Expat Insider Survey, one of the largest global expat well-being studies, has consistently ranked Mexico among the top destinations Americans move to for quality of life year after year. Americans in Mexico self-report significantly higher scores on happiness, work-life balance, and personal finance satisfaction than they did before moving.
Cost of living reductions across popular Black expat destinations consistently run in the range of 40 to 60%.
We actually track this ourselves, and we call it the MiM Index. In 2026, it's about $51,000 a year a household keeps by relocating. Next, healthcare access. Beyond the affordability, Black expats we've interviewed almost unanimously report the same thing. Mexico offers healthcare that actually cares. The providers listen the first time. Concerns get taken seriously. No 30-second appointments. And no assumption you're drug seeking when you describe your pain. Now, that difference is not measurable in dollars, but it is measurable in lower blood pressure, less prescription medication, and better quality sleep, and the years you get added back to your life.
And then there's mental health. Weathering research suggests the removal of chronic environmental race stress can significantly reduce cortisol, improve sleep quality, reduce depressive symptom rates, and even slow the cellular aging process itself. Look, this isn't magic, it's stress biology. Move the stressor, move the outcome.
And finally, safety. Mexico is 31 beautiful states. Merida is safer than most U.S. suburbs. Puerto Vallarta consistently ranks among Mexico's safest cities. Do the neighborhood level research and you'll find the truth. The headlines are really just maybe about 5% of the story. You know, they ain't always telling the truth anyway.
So, what do you do with all of this? 3 simple steps coming up.
So, friend, what should you actually do after watching this video? Because in the next episode, we might have a little pop quiz for you.
3 simple steps to get you started. All free, all doable today.
1, take a body scan right now, okay? Where are you holding tension in your body? Is it your shoulders, your jaw, your chest? Notice it. That tension is data, and that tension has been telling you something. I want you to write it down. Tell exactly what it is.
2, do our core 4 exercise. Rank climate, culture, community, and cost in order what matters to you most personally. It only takes about 60 seconds. That single exercise is where this whole plan begins.
3, if you want the full 6-step playbook for how Black Americans are making the move abroad with clarity and confidence, we wrote a free downloadable guide called the Blaxit Blueprint. Comment the word guide below and we'll share it with you. That's GUIDE. It's free and it's written for anyone moving abroad.
And listen, if your core 4 points you somewhere other than Mexico, we love that for you. Go find the community leaders on the ground there. Chances are our Blaxit cousins are already there and have a community. They're waiting for you.
The whole point is you don't have to do this alone. And it doesn't have to be hard. Community is the whole game. Now, picture what your life could actually look like.
Picture yourself 12 months from now.
Same brilliant skills, same resume, same US passport in your purse.
But your cortisol is somewhere near normal for the first time since college.
Your shoulders drop the moment you wake up instead of the moment you finally fall asleep.
Your money buys you a beautiful life, not just your survival.
You're treated with respect in medical offices, at the grocery store, in restaurants, walking down your own street.
You still have every single option you had before. You just added a newer one.
Look, friend, you're not running. You're not hiding. You're not disappointing anyone.
You are exercising a right your ancestors fought, marched, and died for. The right to decide for yourself where you build your one and only life. Don't let their struggle go to waste.
If this brought you some clarity today, I want you to hit that subscribe. Share this with a friend, a sister, a brother, a cousin, your mama, anybody who needs to hear this. This is how the movement grows.
Come and guide if you want the free Blaxit Blueprint. And tell us in the comments if you can move anywhere in the world tomorrow. Money or distance does not matter. Where would your freedom zone be? If you enjoyed this episode, this next one would definitely bless you. Check it out and let us know what you think in the comments. We'll see you over there in the next episode. Earn US dollars, live abroad, keep the gap.
Friend, reside where you thrive.